Hello and welcome to the channel, and welcome today to Planetbase from Madruga Works. I've been really looking forward to playing this. I've played a little bit of it already, and I wanted to get this video a lot sooner than I have, but unfortunately I just haven't had time, medical reasons and all that kind of nonsense. Anyway, let's get on with it. So this is a pretty cool, send some colonists to a planet and try and survive. Some people have already described it as a little bit like Banished in space. You might remember Banished if you've been around for a bit, because I covered that a few times. So, as with any sort of builder-esque, I want to call it a city builder, but it's not really a city builder, it is a builder, but it'll make more sense in a minute. I don't want to call it a city builder though, but as with any of these, it's better if I kind of start from the start, show you what's going on, and maybe this will be over a couple of videos, I'm not sure yet. So we can pick a run anywhere on the planet. This is the only planet I've unlocked so far, but it can get surprisingly tricky at times, so I say we're going to go there, because I don't know if this actually makes any difference. It doesn't look like any of these actually change, but we'll go with that, and we'll call our base TG Corp, because meh. Right, just so I know what the hell's going on. Okay, so here we are landing on this new planet. It looks like we've actually managed to pick a pretty nice open area to actually start building. Now, the start is a little bit hectic, but I will do my best to explain as I go. But I am under some time restrictions just at the start because, as you can imagine, we've just landed on a hostile planet. These guys are going to need somewhere safe to be. They're going to need oxygen, they're going to need power, they're going to need food. So, as you can see at the minute, we don't have any of those. So, I don't actually know if I can pause it. No, I can't. Right. First thing we're going to do, we are going to plant down not one of those, we're going to plant down an oxygen generator for the start. Now, you can increase the scale of these for the cost of more stuff, but we're not going to do that just yet. I'm going to put this about there, I think. From that, we'll then also want a solar panel, which for now I'll just use a small one. Then between these you have to make connections, so you have to make sure these two buildings are connected. You click one, click the other, and then you link them, and then a link will be built between the two. Now, people are going to need to get into the base so they can actually be within oxygen, so we're going to need an airlock for them to get in. These longer corridors are actually going to be corridors of a building, which you're going to see very soon coming up. So we're going to have an airlock, we're going to have oxygen, we're going to have power. To make oxygen though, we're also going to need water. So that's the other thing we're going to need, and we're going to build that just off here. Right, let's try that. So we'll have water, power, which will be turned into oxygen, which will keep oxygen here so these guys have got a place to be. From there, we're going to need a place for them to eat. So we're going to put that about there. And then that's going to start getting built. We're also going to want a place that can actually store power, which I'm going to put a slightly bigger version of these down. So we need somewhere that's going to store power. We're going to need somewhere that's going to store water once that's built. And we're also going to need a wind turbine just for the night times. Just because, as you can imagine, night is going to be a bit of a problem. Now, I'm just going to speed up the game a little bit so we can try and get some of these done. I may have given them maybe too many tasks right from the start, but hopefully this should not be a problem. We now have oxygen starting to appear in these buildings. So there we go, they are now oxygenated and all fine. So now our people aren't going to die just yet. Right, so now our canteen's coming up. As soon as that's connected to there, air will start to pass in, so you can see the oxygen going up, and now I am actually going to just very quickly slow the game all the way back down. Right, we now need to edit inside here and actually put down a place for them to get food and water from, and have places to sit, and of course watch TV for entertainment. So there we go, that's the rough sort of idea of setting up a room. Right, next thing we're going to need a place for them to sleep. So these are a dead end room, so that nothing can connect off these. So you can usually tell this when you look on these sort of icons. So it'll actually say, it'll say, see in the description where it says dead end, that basically just means that nothing now can connect to that, like that is the end of that corridor. So we can only now build over this way, sort of thing. So it's a bit of a crossover, which is why I've tried to put it more towards the power kind of stuff. So I've just realised that that isn't actually connected to there. That needs to be sorted. Oh, this is me trying to rush. Right, So we've got a bedroom coming up, which I'll need to put stuff into. That's set up, that's set up. Right, now we need to... That'll make us so that we can generally survive. We know then after that we'll need to start making ourselves self-sufficient. So we're going to need a place to grow food, first of all. Because if we can't grow our own food, we're not going to be doing particularly much. After that, we're also going to need the ability to make our own supplies, which, speaking of supplies, I'm going to recycle the ship. So we have loads of this. This is all the supplies I've currently got. I need to find a way of actually making these into... I need more stuff. We got that connected just in time because it's just going dark. So wind power is dropping though, so this could actually become an issue. So hopefully this is charged up enough to at least get us through the night for now. Right. So we've got the biodome going in there, and we've got the beds. We got the dorm going there. So next thing we're going to need, we are going to be needing to look into getting a mine and a processing plant. I don't think we're close enough to build a mine just yet. No, we are not. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a processing plant off here, like that, and then that should also be enough for me to drop a mine here, because that's got to go into a mountain. And then they've got a direct access to the airlock into the mine, so that should be fine. I am probably going to start looking, once we've got the general processing plant sorted, of actually increasing how much power we've got, because every game that I've played so far, that I've got fairly far through it, but the thing that crumbles first is I lose power or something, rather than the disasters that can strike. So, we have our biodome, but it's still not connected yet. Right, let's speed this up a little bit and try and get some of these buildings done so we can actually start working through this. We need our little worker droid here to get a bit of a move on and get some of these things built. There we go. Right, now that's sorted, we can actually start putting some food in here. So, we can have some tomatoes and some onions. Eventually we're going to need some medical plants and stuff, but I might actually build another thing for that. So I think for now we'll also put in some potatoes and possibly... I'll tell you what, we'll do rice as well. That should be a nice mix there. So there is different types of food, so you may notice there at the top that they have starch ones as well. We can make use of the starch to turn into other things, so that's like a byproduct. So we now need to get this processing plant done, so we need to use this and we need to use that, and then we'll make the two main building resources. So the main building resources are like steel for the metal, so you've got metal there, and then you have, I think it's called bioplastic. So we'll make use of what we're gathering to basically turn these into things. So our power storage is currently low and it's depleting rapidly, so I feel like this is a pretty good time. So survival reach, we've survived an entire day, which is beautiful. People are getting tired because I haven't put them down beds yet, so we need to sort that out. 2 beds should be more than enough for now, because we haven't got any more people coming here yet, because we haven't built a dock. And self-sufficiency has just been reached as well, so this is now completely self-sufficient. Now, this is the point where I kind of want to upgrade my power just to be sure. So, I want to do a wind turbine first, and I'm going to do a medium one rather than a large. We'll do a medium. And I'll connect that off the back of here, because this isn't a direct connection to... it's not like a corridor, so therefore you can still connect it to power and utilities and things like that, so they're kind of useful for linking that off. But also, say if a meteor crashes into this line, it would literally cut off access to all these, so I do want other ways of being able to like maintain power to the base. So that will keep the power, hopefully, which will also, and the battery's charging up pretty nice. I also will actually like to get a water tower so we can actually store water in case that goes horribly wrong as well. Just a small water tower is probably going to do it, honestly. Tell you what, we'll connect it up like that so that if, say, if anything does break here, it can still also connect that way as well. I won't connect it up yet though, because each one of these connections still uses some of my resources, which I don't particularly want to just start wasting resources immediately. Right, so, now that I've got that done, I can stop for a second and try and explain a few more things. So, when the people who got off the ship, you will have noticed, were different coloured suits. Different coloured suits do different things. So blue is a worker. I believe green is a biologist. I think there's an orange one which is like an engineer. Should be able to show you some of them all working away in here. So as you can see at the minute they're currently carrying food into the meal maker here so that people can get food. So that's just going to keep spewing out meals for people, which is pretty nice. And our biologists are in there working there to make sure that the quality of these is good. So this will slowly deteriorate and it'll slowly produce food as long as people are working it. So they're taking care of that. So you only get a limited amount of them. And we've also got a lovely worker here who is making some bioplastics and things like that for us so we can actually maintain our stuff. Now, the one thing I actually think we should build that I usually always fail to do way too early is build some sort of storage. And I'm going to build it right there. Just so, because resources that are produced here will slowly decay if they're not kept in storage properly. Whereas I believe the ones off the ship, these are fairly resilient for some reason, just to basically make sure that you don't just fail because they've been left there too long. So we've got that as well, which hopefully will be nice. Our water is very slowly filling up. We could probably do with increasing that at some point, but for now we should be okay. That's ready to be built, and that's ready to be built. So the storage will be sorted in just a moment. There we go, our little worker bot is sorting that. So this is going fairly well. Everyone seems pretty happy. We've got resources coming in. So now it's probably time to start actually thinking about getting more people, potentially. So I think the first thing we're going to do... I mean, I could build some of these other things as well, but I think first of all we need more workers so we can more sustainably actually keep producing resources, and then we can start to slowly expand. I mean, really I should also get a sick bay and a lab built so that they can actually cure people that get hurt in the mine and things like that, but for now I would kind of like to build a landing pad and get people to start actually coming here. So we're going to connect that roughly where that was, I think. And that should do. We shouldn't need more than one connection, we'll just keep it like that. So we should have plenty of steel to sort that out. That should not be a problem. We've got some steel in here. Hopefully they'll still be making use of it here though, because there's still plenty lying around from what I can see. We just need one more, which I'm pretty sure I just saw coming in. There it is. Right, so the landing pad is about to get built. So our little worker bot should go and finish that up now. There he goes. He's a good lad. Right, now I need to actually change our landing permissions, because for now I don't want traders. I just want colonists to be coming. So expansion's been reached. We can now expand. So now there's going to be more people that start to appear. Now I also believe that I can change, yeah, what we're looking for more. So right now I want more biologists and workers. Mostly work. In fact, we can probably actually leave that as it was, thinking about it, because we don't need biologists as much as we need workers. We need more workers. So actually, I'll put that to what it was. Okay, so that's the general first part done. We now can start getting more people coming here. Everything seems to be working over pretty well, and that is a good sign. So that is the first part done. Now we're going to start looking at doing some more stuff. See, now I'm really enjoying this game so far, and hopefully you can see why. So I think at this point it's a good time to start getting the idea of getting a sick bay and a lab built. So we're going to do the sick bay first. Again, a sick bay is a dead end, so I want to do this towards here where there's like a natural dead end already. Good. So we've still got these guys coming in, colonist ships, so they're going to keep coming and going. I like when you get the ships there, because if nothing else it just makes the place a little bit more active. So some people are a little bit unhappy, so it might be time that we need a bar soon, maybe. Right, that's all ready to go, so we just need the bot to... Oh my god, that was close. That was very close. That didn't get damaged, did it? Not particularly. Okay. Right, the med bay is officially done. As soon as this goes up and the oxygen starts flowing, there it is. So we'll just put 2 medical beds in there again, should be enough. Hopefully we won't have more than that injured at any one time. For now, at least. Right, then we're going to need a lab, because we are actually going to need to produce our medicines. Now, I didn't put any medicines down here, so I'm also going to need to build another one of these. So that is something that I am definitely going to need to get done pretty quickly. But we'll let them... I'm going to try and keep it as slow as I can. Just because the last few times I've failed have been because I've tried to do too much at once, and they've put like a bit of bioplastic here and a bit of steel here and a bit of more bioplastic over here, whereas there would have been enough to finish the one job that I really needed them to do, and it was completely my own fault. So I'm going to let them sort of do it their own way at the minute. See, I mean, we've got quite a nice little stock built. That sounded really close. Where the hell was that? Man, the meteors crashing round are kind of scary. Right, how much do we need for this? Right, that's now ready to go, and that's ready to go. So now that will be built as soon as... well, very soon, hopefully. It could actually get to the point now that we need to start putting another airlock on this base around here, so they've got a way to get out of this side of the base to build things quicker, so they can bring things straight out through here, rather than having to go... because at the minute they have to get things from storage, go all the way back through here, go all the way back over to here, then come all the way round. So I think that is not actually a bad idea. Let's get another airlock built somewhere. Let's go directly from the storage. Ah, now a sandstorm's hit, and that's really, really bad, so I'm not going to connect that just yet. Now, unfortunately, what I needed here is security controls, but I need to be able to build this building first before I can use them, and basically you can put people on different warnings to basically be like, do not go outside the base, or we're being attacked, or whatever. Just gives you a little bit more control over your players, which unfortunately I haven't built yet, so people will now probably go outside and get injured, which is not good. I've just realised I hadn't actually finished... oh no, I did build the lab. What am I on about? I did build the lab. Right, we need a workbench, and what do you do? Vitrum, can be produced here. Well, sure, why not? We'll have one of each. There you go. That'll be the lab fully set up then. Okay. I feel like we could probably maximise this as well. We've still got spare space in here, so I think it's worth putting another one of these down, another one of these down, so once we get more workers they can start to really push that out. How's our power limits doing? It's going up. So obviously the good side of having a sandstorm is the wind just goes to maximum, which means we get to produce quite a lot of power. Now, it's got to be said, we are using quite a lot of power and not producing all that much more. I would be a little bit happier if we were producing a bit more power. Particularly once these come online, it's probably going to start to consume it quite a bit faster, but we are also severely running out of bioplastic. Now I'm pretty sure... ah, no, solar panels and stuff just need steel. How are we doing on steel? Is this steel or is this spares? It's mostly spares that we've got there. There is still some steel lying around though, so I think we can actually make use of this. I don't know whether to do another solar panel or whether to do another wind turbine, because wind turbines will work both night and day, but obviously it also depends on when the wind's there. So sometimes it's still also a good idea to have the solar power. So I think it's worth putting down another solar panel, but for the sole basis of just charging, to help charge the battery. So I can basically try and get it so that the solar powers charge the battery during the day. So we've got access power in the day, the batteries get charged, and then the wind turbines will sustain us at night along with any additional power that we need from the battery. That's the theory. How are we doing with water? The grid consumes 2.5, but we've produced 4.9, so it's still fairly good. But obviously we could probably still do with having a little bit more going. The droid is finally getting this built, so we will actually be able to have a second entrance or exit from the base. so they won't have to keep running round if we have to do any work out this side, because obviously our base is probably going to start to extend a bit more this way. Maybe a tiny bit this way, depends on what we're building, honestly. So, this is looking a lot better though. Everyone's kind of doing their thing. Now that we've got more machines, there's more things going actually into the machines to start producing bioplastics and metals and all that kind of good stuff, which I'm very happy about. Now, these are both ready to be built. We've got enough for them. It's looking good, guys. It is looking good. And right now, I think that is pretty much the basics of having this base built. Realistically, it is, in its basic form, it's built. It's ready to go. What we've got to start going from on this point, obviously we've got to start ramping up how many people start to move in. We've got to start ramping up everything. Everything's just got to start to get on a bigger and bigger scale. We can also start to look at, we need to get a control centre down, we need to get a bar down, we need to keep our people fit and healthy. We get a factory so we can start producing guns and spare parts so we can keep things repaired. That's one thing we're going to run out of pretty soon, is spares, so that's something I need to look at. But I think, for the purposes of this video, this gives you a good idea of what Planetbase is all about. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to leave it there. I'm just going to tab so we can get these back up so you can roughly see what the base looks like a bit more in reality. All these lovely glass domes. We're going to leave it here. If you want to see more Planetbase, let me know and we'll carry on from here. And we'll try and expand it out, get all of our production set up and roughly run it, and get more people starting to come here, and try and get it just all free flowing. You can see what I was talking about now with the wind turbines, how the wind turbines are now not working, so we are actually consuming more power now than we are actually producing. So as you can see, this is now starting to degrade, so hopefully the wind picks up again soon. But anyway, complete tangent. This has been Planetbase. It's available on Steam. There will be links down below as ever if you want to go and check it out for yourself. If you want to see more videos from me, please do let me know in the comments. If you're a shy person, also just leave likes on videos. The more likes I see on things, the more interest I can tell is in the video, so I'm more likely to produce another video on it. It's that simple. So likes and comments are a good way to give me some feedback. If you want to leave any form of constructive criticism or anything like that, that's also perfectly welcome. Don't worry about it, it's fine. I'm thick-skinned, it's okay. Some people get really concerned about sending me messages like that. I don't know why, but there we go. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. This has been Planetbase. Hopefully you want to see more in the future, because I'm probably going to want to play it anyway. But yeah, thank you and goodbye.